Hello and welcome to the Professional Development. Today, my name is Amy Long and I will be guiding you through Seesaw and how we can engage our students with this awesome app. Let's dig a little deeper in Seesaw. So when we're actually asking ourselves what is Seesaw, Seesaw is just an app within ClassLink that allows students to submit and share their work virtually. It goes into a portfolio. It has tons of tools that can be utilized with many learners of different ages, modalities, and subject matter. So as you see below, the kids can use the annotation tools to write with math. They can draw over a picture, or you can browse the activity library, which has activities with people from all over the community in our school, and you also will be able to collect your own activities over time. Let's look at some benefits of using Seesaw in a remote and simultaneous setting. The best part is no paper pile. We can help our students and grade them virtually, which is awesome for our current situation. The standards can be attached as well on there, so we can all be aligned and make sure that we're tracking this as well on Seesaw. Seesaw can mark and track the completion of all of these assignments. So it's basically like if you look in, you can tell which kids have done what and who has mastered the standards if you decide to add the standard or attach it to each assignment. Another great benefit of Seesaw is that teachers can view progress and provide immediate feedback. So when a kiddo submits their assignment to you and says, "Hey, Miss Smith, I'm done with my assignment," you can go right in and look right then, look through it, make sure it looks how it is or how it's supposed to look. If it looks proficient to you, you can give it a green check and it's good to go. Or if it needs to be fixed, you may type something up under it similar to a comment on social media and say, "Hey, I need you to look back at XYZ and resubmit it to me." And then you can send it back to them. The Seesaw activities are really easy to share. They're great to share amongst your team or other students. I had an absent colleague the other day and I was able to easily pull her kiddos into my class and, assign them the Seesaw assignments super quick. Seesaw also lends itself to the gradual release model. I do, we do, you do. And I will show you today how you can incorporate the gradual release model using Seesaw. And finally, there's very little to no lag with instruction with Seesaw. Since it is just an app, the kids will just open it and they will be able to see the assignment basically like a PowerPoint. They can click from slide to slide. So as soon as you tell them to click to slide 2, they can click right on in, no lag. So now let's go ahead and look and see what we will be discussing during this Seesaw demo. We're going to keep it pretty simple today. We're going to first talk about how we're getting started with Seesaw, how we can create our classroom and get connected with it. Then we're going to move on to creating and assigning the learning activities, how we can use that gradual release model. And finally, we'll move into how we are going to manage those learning activities. So once the kids have done them, how are we going to grade them? What is that going to look like? And then we'll wrap it up. So let's get started. So let's discuss how to get started with Seesaw. First, log into your ClassLink and click on the Seesaw app. When you log in, you will see a classroom appear generally, but today we're going to create a new classroom. And you do that by clicking your name in the top left-hand corner and clicking Create New Class. This is where you'll also see other classes that you have populated by Fulton County. You'll generally have a class for each subject if you're a general education teacher. So to create a new class, you'll click Create New Class and name your class whatever you'd like to name it. I suggest using an icon because it makes it easy for your students to find among their large list of classes that they will be added in Seesaw as well. So by clicking the Windows button on your keyboard and then period, the emoji keyboard will pop up and you can name your icon whatever you like. And maybe we want to call this class the Butterflies, or you can name it Reading. Maybe we'll call them the Reading Butterflies. So you click the grade you'd like. Maybe they're in second grade and then click the check. So now you have your Reading Butterflies class, or whichever class you would like to have. And we're going to change those options up here by clicking the little wrench. And here is really the hub of where you'll change all of your class settings. You can add students easily by clicking the plus button, and there are step-by-step instructions. There's a code that you'll have to give them. It's all there. You can add students down here by their student number as well. So you would just enter a student number ID here, and then their name would pop up and you would click them. You can also print student sign-in posters if you want to do that, and it will pre-populate that for you as well and give them directions. But for the digital version, again, you would just be adding them down here with this Add Students button with their student ID number. All right, looking at more settings, we can add families here. And again, you can't really obviously add families until there are students here, which is what it's letting me know. But that's where you would connect them. Here you can, again, change all of your class settings, like other teachers that are in here. You can add them by email address, and they'll be able to also add and respond. I've had great success co-teaching in Seesaw last year, specifically when COVID started. I co-taught a second grade class, and it was so awesome because she would go in and give feedback, provide, stars on their work that we agreed on, and I would also as well. So we kind of just teamed up, and it was amazing. So you can also change your class theme into any different color you'd like. You can also change your class icon. So if you maybe have an art class or it's more geared towards reading, since we are the Reading Butterflies, maybe we should have a letter. All right, so going down, here are all your settings for your students on how they sign in, etc., etc. You can also enable the family access right here. That's important. If you want families to be able to see their kids' work, you have to click that button right there, and here are all the options where you can add them and manage them. Finally, down towards the bottom, the other most important pieces are the skills. Here is where you can attach a standard or add basically a skill to your archive. And I'll show you where you can attach those a little bit later in the next section of this professional development. Finally, you can add your skills rating scale here, so you can choose how many stars you give your kids for success. I generally choose to go towards 4 because that's like the standards mastery framework. My kiddos know that if they get 1 or 2 stars, they probably need to try and make some changes and improve. 3 stars is proficient for me, and then 4 stars means that we have exceeded the standard, which is that level 4 on the standards mastery framework. One last comment. If you want to archive your class, which means you do not want it anymore, or you accidentally made a class and you don't like how it is, or you made it extra, just click the archive button and it will take that away. So once you are done with everything and all the settings you'd like, just click that X and they will be applied. And now we are ready to create assignments. All right, so let's discuss how we can create activities within Seesaw. When you click the Activities tab to the right with the light bulb, it will lead you to an area where you can browse the activity library. You can see activities from your community, your school and district, or even, some of our awesome teachers in our school district are uploading videos of themselves teaching. It's amazing. Once you have created some activities yourself, you will have amassed a library of activities, and you can organize them by different activity standards like I've done down below, or any other way that you would like. So to create a new activity, I'm going to show you the quick and easy way to do this. So the most frequent way that I use this activity in Seesaw is I will first of all name it in a way that my students can easily find it. They will have a list of activities on Seesaw that, because you've given them several activities over the semester, and you want them to be able to find it quickly. So I always add an emoji, and the way that you do that is clicking the Windows button on your keyboard and then the period, and a whole emoji keyboard will appear, and you can put whichever one you'd like. You can also type instructions here for your students or record voice instructions. Two also important things to note down at the very bottom, more options. This is where you would add that skill. Here you can just type a word, keyword like a raise or even an odd, and standards will pop up that people have added, or either you can add a new skill yourself and make it however you want it to match what you need. Okay, so when you click your skill again and you add it on there, you click the green check and then it will be attached. So then when your kid gets the feedback, he will see that standard, he or she will see that standard, and so will their parents. To add a template for your students to respond to, meaning when they open the activity, they will all see this. It's basically like passing out an activity to each kid and they're all getting the same thing. For today, you can click on the drawing button here. The quickest, super quickest way is to just upload a PDF here, and that's if you had a PDF that you really liked, you can just upload it directly here, but that's not going to give you the flexibility that this drawing piece will up here. So when you go in, you will see a blank Seesaw canvas, and over to the right, you will see different slides. So for our case today, we're going to need 3 slides. We're going to need an I do slide. So I'm going to click the T for text, or you can double click. You can write I do, or you can label it Watch Miss Long, that's my name, or Watch Miss Smith. I put it up in the top corner, and on this same slide, I'm going to duplicate this by clicking the options. And then on the teacher slide, of course, there will be no student work required on this page. There are ways that you can go in and change the style of that text right here. And you can change it whatever color you would like. And here I want to model some stuff for my kids, so I want to paste what I want to do for them right here. And again, I told you this is going to be the quick and simple version, so we all know in Fulton County we use iReady. So I pulled up an iReady document that all of us would use in Fulton County, and we're just going to use our snipping tool in order to take pieces of this document out and put them in our lesson. So to get to your snipping tool, just type down here snip, click it and it will pop up, click the new button, and we're going to snip whichever part of this lesson we want out. We're going to copy that and then go back into our Seesaw and paste it in by hitting the Control V button. V as in Victor. Alright, so we have that in there. Let's go ahead and lock it so the students can't move it around by clicking the 3 buttons and then lock. We're going to go back into our document because we need the graphic organizer that goes with it. Right here, as you see, it's on the second page. I'm going to snip that, and then I will be able to actually paste that right next to it in the Seesaw document, which is awesome because it's like they're in a real book. They would see it right next to each other. We can lock this as well, and we can add, again, the academic vocabulary or anything we want to our heart's content. If we want to type on top of this, which we do, we need to lock it first of all so the kids don't move it around, and we want to give a place so that we can type when we are modeling for the kids on this slide. So I want to go ahead and just open a text box by clicking type, or you can really put anything in there just so that you can go in when you're ready to model for the kids and double click in and say, in scene 2, this happened, and typing it in just like you would expect them to do when they're completing their independent practice. So I go ahead and I will copy this button, this text box, by clicking it and hitting Control C to copy and then Control V to paste it, or you can click the 3 dots and click duplicate. Okay, I generally also like to change the color of these by clicking the rainbow over here. That way when I'm asking the students to draw their attention to something, I can say, everybody look at me, or look at the orange box or the purple box or the green box. I would like to now kind of show you what a completed activity would look like. I'm going to go into my library, and this is actually an assignment that I did with my students today with the gradual release model. As you see on the first slide, it would say watch me and no student work is required. So I basically have this pulled up like I'm a student, and I'm telling my kids, okay guys, I'm in Seesaw right now. I'd like you to have Seesaw pulled up on your side as well. I'm sharing my screen with them on Microsoft Teams. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to model for them this skill. After I finish modeling, I'm going to say, all right, everybody, we're going to move on to slide number 2. Let's look, first of all, can we all take our pencil together, everyone, or our pen, and pick your very favorite color, and let's circle those paragraph numbers. Oh my goodness. And we would go down and we would kind of talk through that together. And I would say, give me a thumbs up in the Microsoft Teams chat when you have also done that. Or I would tell my kiddos, hey, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on their camera when they've done that. I can operate on a split screen if I'm doing this as well. I would just make this half of the screen, and I would make my Microsoft Teams the other half so I can see my kids and do the work as well. And again, when you're going in and modeling with them, just say, all right guys, who can go ahead and put your cursor inside of the blue box, and let's get ready to type. Go in and put your cursor inside of the red box and let's type. You give me a thumbs up again when you have done the blue box, and just guiding them through with you during that we do portion. And finally, releasing the kiddos to do it by themselves on that third you do slide. Now you try. I want my kids to talk and refer about specific chapters when they're referring to the text. So the speak portion of it is awesome on Seesaw. So you can start recording by clicking there. And then you see up here at the top, I am actually recording live. So when they're done with that, you'll just click done. So that is how you create an assignment. When you are completely done with everything, you know, you've submitted your assignment by clicking the green button over here. Just FYI, you can also put an assignment in your draft. So say, for example, you're not done with the assignment yet, or you and the kids don't finish an assignment. Maybe you do the I do and the we do one day, and you want to review the we do and then the you do the next day, like we do sometimes in writing because we only have 30 minutes. So I would just tell my kiddos, all right, everybody, save this as a draft. I'm going to look and see which kids can save this as a draft. And I would click the draft button to show them what that looks like, or the green check to show them what that looks like. And then it's automatically going to kind of pop up on this story, just like on Facebook, like a Facebook story or a Twitter social media page. And when I go in here, I can actually see which of my kiddos, we did this today, and I'll show you. You can see which kids have saved it as a draft like I asked them to. Some of these other kids, again, are those kids that were split. I had split into my class when their teacher was absent. But everybody here has done exactly what I needed them to do, and I can see in a real time as they come in by hitting this refresh button up here. So it is super easy to assign activities. Once you're in your activity library, all you will have to do is once you've created your assignment, you'll click again that green check and click the save button. And then from here, you'll be able to assign it by clicking your class. You can assign it to your whole class. You can schedule it for a future appointment, or you can edit the students and select only specific ones that you want, and they would all populate here after you've added them. So that's how easy it is to assign and create assignments in Seesaw. Now I'd like to discuss with you how you can manage Seesaw assignments. When you log into Seesaw, you will notice that you have a red number icon up here if you have students who have submitted work to you. I'm going to go into my actual classroom and show you what that looks like when a kid submits work. Down here at the bottom, you'll see that I have 2 unapproved posts that I can review. And they pull up here, and you have the option to approve it, send it back, or delete it. Down here at the bottom, you also have the option, once you've looked through the assignment on all the pages, and it's to your satisfaction, that you can like it, and you can comment to them anything you want. So you can say, great job. You can say, please work on slide XYZ. You can also click it a little bigger if you need to so that you can see. So again, this is what I did, but it looks like the kiddo went ahead and followed along with me anyways, which is awesome. Here on slide 2, you see that they've completed this work and it's looking good. They've even circled their paragraphs as well. And so if that's looking exactly how we like it, we can click approve. Or if not, we can say, we shouldn't have turned this in yet. This one's not done. So I'm going to go ahead and send this back and say, we will finish this tomorrow. And I'll click post to that. So now that kiddo will get this, and I'm going to send it right back to her. And everything has been approved. And that's how you can manage your assignments. So we are coming to the end of our time together, and I would like to leave you with some best practices for Seesaw. I will let you kind of look over this at your leisure, but in the setup and connect, definitely remember to connect all of your students, families, and co-teachers. In the create section, a great takeaway is to use the emoji keyboard using the Windows button and period to add icons so that your students can easily find an activity. And finally, in the assign and manage, it's awesome that we can give that immediate feedback to our students and attach the standards so that we're all on the same page. So if you would like to know more about the functionalities of Seesaw, get a Seesaw 101, or even just know anything more about Seesaw, there is a ton of information that you can find in the playlist below. So again, thank you so much for joining me here today, and I hope you have learned about Seesaw and how we can engage our students with this amazing app.